So I'm gonna continue the evening. I'm gonna talk about Facebook. Facebook has a lot of similarities to Twitter in that there is something on it called a status update, which is very similar in theory to what people do when they tweet. It's a status update. It's like, what am I feeling now? What am I interested in now? What have I just read? What song have I just listened to? Like, you can status update, or you can create a status update basically around anything that you've done. Last week, one of my status updates was a picture of my sister and me at her birthday party, right? And I just uploaded the picture with a nice little comment underneath it, and then what happens when you upload or when you post a status update is people have the opportunity to do one of two things. One, they can like your comment or your status, right? So there's a link on the page, and I'll go through this in a moment. I just wanted to talk about it briefly, but there's a link on the page which allows you to like something. So if Lynette sends out if Lynette posts a status update, I can like it. And then I can also comment on it. So if there's something I want to say, which is almost very, very usual for me, I will say it by clicking on comment and going to the appropriate edit field and posting my comment. And the way Facebook works is that comment is then linked or in some way connected to her post. So when you post something on Facebook, it's called a post. When you reply, it's called a comment. So you're not necessarily sending. You can do a couple of things with Facebook. So you can send messages privately. So Lynette and I can definitely have private exchanges, whether we use a chat feature or an email type feature. There's an inbox on the page. I can also post onto Lynette what's called Lynette's Lynette's profile or wall or timeline. And what that does is it shows chronological posts to Lynette's page or Lynette's homepage. And I post to her directly, but that's made available publicly so other people can see. So for example, if Lynette has her birthday, I can go onto her page, I can post happy birthday, and then everybody else can see what a thoughtful and wonderful person I am. Right? Or I can do it privately and things like that. Or I can do a status update on my page, which then goes out and is viewable by all of my friends. Okay? Very similar to what Lynette showed us with Twitter.com and m.twitter.com, Facebook has the same kind of things. So I'm going to first go to the main page of Facebook, facebook.com.
No window is active. Alt-Tab, JAWS. Alt-Tab, Twitter-Windows Internet Explorer. Control-O-A-C-E-D-O-O-K-S-O-M. Enter. Redirecting Windows Internet. Alt-Space, X. Leaving menu. Password edit. Password. Edit. Email or phone. Password. Table with email or phone edit. Enter. Num lock on. Not WhatsApp 1386. Tab. Passwords. Start. Stop. Enter. Login button unavailable. Notification request. Left parent to right parent.
Okay, so now I'm on the page, and on the main Facebook page there is just way too much going on. I can hit headings. I'm using JAWS, so I can hit the letter H to move through the page by heading. And honestly, I think if I've visited this website 3 or 4 times in the past 4 years, I think it's a lot, because I find it to be one of the most confusing things ever, and I don't like it at all. And I've been told by people who have 20/20 vision that they find this to be overwhelming as well, because there's just so much going on. You have chat windows, you have games where you can play. You have areas where you can play games. You can post. You can do this and that. Read tweets. Posts and stuff like that, and it's just dizzying. So I'm just going to go through a couple of the headings, and then I'll move on to the m.facebook interface, which is a lot simpler to use, and I'll explain why in a moment.
Facebook heading level 1, favorites heading level 4.
Okay, favorites.
Apps heading level 4.
Apps, I have no apps.
Pages.
Apps are something that you can download, so there's a lot of game apps and things for. Oops, sorry.
6:43 p.m. One notification. Screen off.
That was yours. Here it is.
Ooh,
Yeah.
excuse me.
That's fine. So there's a lot of games that you can download. I don't know of any that are accessible, but I know plenty of people who are playing Bejeweled Blitz or something like that on Facebook. Or I call my friend and I hear little monkey noises in the background when I'm talking to her, and I'm like, stop playing your video game, talk to me. And she's like, I'm going to mute it now. Okay, great. So there's a lot of stuff that you can do on Facebook, but really what Facebook is used for is to network, is to share your thoughts and share things like, like your opinions on certain things. A very big thing with Facebook about a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, was people were checking in everywhere, and like Gus just checked in at Baruch College, or Gus just checked in at the subway station. So basically, you're telling the whole world, I'm not home, come rob me, please. At least that was my take on it. So that seems to have died down, but people are still doing it. Like Gus, like it'll say Gus is at such and such restaurant, or Gus is at Target, and you can do that and share things about that. And it's kind of fun to see what people are up to, especially people that you don't live too close to. Like, I get Facebook messages from my relatives in Greece, and it's really nice to keep up with them. Like, my cousin just shared that she got engaged 2 weeks ago, and that's really cool.
Friends heading level 4, lit groups heading level
So
4.
groups, you can belong to different types of groups and things like that. You can have many friends, as many as you like. I think I have close to 500 now. I keep deleting people because there are people that I don't want to be friends with anymore. Yes, I said that in public. Hello. But see, as I move through this web page, you hear all the headings, but you don't really get a sense of what's going on this page. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna go to m.facebook.
Control O, open F, here, A, C, E, B, O, O, K, U, O, M, enter, left parent to right parent, Facebook, dash window, blank, Facebook, edit, post button.
Okay. So Lynette mentioned before that the M stands for mobile, and why they've created these mobile websites or mobile versions of their websites is because if you're using your cell phone, or if you're using a portable device, you want something that's going to load fast. So what they do is they scale down the website, they remove a lot of the graphics, a lot of the pictures, a lot of the things that take a long time to download, so that the page will load up fast, and it won't take up a lot of resources, and it won't waste your data. There's a lot of talk these days about my data time and how much data do you get with your plan and all that stuff. And when you go over, those companies charge you a lot of money, at least in my opinion. So the way this is set up now, technically I should be viewing this on my iPad or my iPhone or my Android tablet, but I'm viewing it on my desktop, and it works really beautifully. I'm just going to arrow down through the navigation elements, and I'm going to just kind of briefly describe what each element is.
Heading say link home mode +0.
Home. The home page is the first page that appears when you log in. And what is on the home page? The home page gives you access to virtually everything that you need for Facebook. But also what's on here is your news feeds, right? And the news feeds are what other people have posted on their Facebook pages. So if I'm friends with Lynette and Lisa and Karen and Sherry, and each of them has posted something onto their Facebook pages, it will inevitably show up on my Facebook news feed. Okay, so it's something that allows me to see what's going on, and that news feed keeps updating. Every time I refresh the page, there's probably some new stuff that shows up. The next link
profile mode +1
here is called Profile, and Profile has been alternately referred to as Timeline, and often, very often, more often than I care for. I'm sorry, people. More often than I care for, Facebook has changed their formatting of their web pages so that this. When I literally taught a class in Facebook where it was reading as Timeline, and then 3 or 4 days later, it was back to profile. So it can be very frustrating. I can't even begin to tell you how many times people have asked me, where's my timeline? I can't find it. And I'm like, oh, it's that thing called profile. And they're like, oh. And it's very simple, but that's really all it is. And your profile is your wall, right? So it's the things that you have posted as status updates, and it's things that people have posted to you. But to you publicly. So I can post, as I said before, I can post or send a message to somebody privately. I can send a message to somebody directly, but in a public forum so that other people can see that I've sent that message. And I can send a message or post something that's just meant for all audiences. Okay? And so, but my profile page or my timeline is where the things that are directly associated with me are presented in a chronological fashion. So the most recent one will be at the top of the page, and I'll go to that page in a second, and we can see if our mystery tweeter has Facebooked me.
Link friends alt +2.
The next one is friends, and this is where I come to look at where, at all the people that I am linked to or that I have associated as friends. So couple of things you can do with friends. I just read an article the other day that there's severe psychological impact when people are unfriended on Facebook. and it's true. There's a lot of stuff that's happening. I've been reading a lot of articles. Teenagers are being bullied on Facebook.
Oh, yes.
People are being outed on Facebook. People are being, there's a lot of stuff that's happening on Facebook, and there's a lot of negativity that's associated with Facebook these days, and people are using it inappropriately. So that when somebody who's looking to hire them goes and does a search on them, they find stuff that's not appropriate, and they lose an opportunity for a job. So there's a lot of really, yeah.
Can I just add something?
Of course.
I just heard on the news this week that a lot of colleges are now looking on Facebook.
Absolutely.
I heard that too.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just employers, it's definitely colleges. And a lot of the high school kids, they're not really present to the impact of their words or of the photos that they're uploading. And it's a scary time.
And just to add something, I think it was this year, I just did a topic or what was it, a presentation on that very subject, being safe on social media. And it was to a bunch of young people who are in high school / college. So
it's very important thing, and but it's not just the young people.
that's true.
like,
Sometimes the old people
we always assume that it's the young people that are doing this,
It's
and yes,
true.
they are. But statistically, lately, I was told by my producer extraordinaire, Miss Sherry over there, that the younger generation is actually moving away from Facebook because they don't want to use the stuff that their mom and dad are using.
Yes.
Right, so they're starting to use apps that are on their phones and on their devices, which Lynette and I took a look at, and some of them are not very accessible, and we had a little bit of a rough time with them. So we're not going to go over them today, but that seems to be the trend these days, is that the younger generation is kind of moving away from here, and they're moving towards a more instant message type platform on their devices.
Walkie-talkie, right?
Yeah, like walkie-talkies and instant message and things like that. So, but Facebook is still huge, and it has a huge impact on how we relate to each other and what we do. So when you have friends, you can do a few things. You can unfriend them, right? That means you remove them from your friend list, but they can still kind of see what's going on with you because it's all public. Or what you can also do is block them, which is kind of a step beyond unfriending somebody. So not only have I unfriended you, but you now no longer can find me anywhere on Facebook. It means I really don't like you,
And Twitter has those same options. You can block people from tweeting you, and you can make your profile private so that you have to be invited to.
Right.
To
Which can be a good thing, because security and privacy issues are are really problematic with this type of thing, especially when people don't post appropriate stuff.
Right.
The other thing that you can do is hide a friend. So that means you're still, let's say Lynette is my friend, on Facebook.
Possibly.
Possibly. And she really can't stand all the stuff that I'm posting, and so she can click on my name and hide me so that we're still friends, and I still think that we're still friends, right? And we're technically still friends on Facebook, but she never has to be bothered with my posts again. So my posts don't go to her account, to her wall or whatnot. Okay.
Link messages left parent to right parent.
So where do they go? Do they bounce back to you, or they
So
just?
it's just like when you post to your wall, it's a public thing, right? So other people in your friend list can see, and technically it's available for Lynette to see, but she's just kind of mute. It's like muting something.
I see.
Yeah, it's
Closing
not.
that little mailbox.
Sorry.
Closing that little mailbox.
Yeah, basically, yeah. You're closing the window that shows that particular thing, so the other party never knows.
Okay.
Next thing is messages. Messages is where people go to do direct private messaging. So this is an inbox of sorts. It works very much like Outlook or any other inbox type, Gmail or Yahoo or whatever email program. And you can actually get an email, and from your Gmail account you can email somebody at facebook.com. So this is an email box, and all these messages are private. Although if you were to look at them, they appear like chat messages. So what they do is they have the body of the message above, and there's a little edit field underneath and a reply button. So it's very, it's not like your typical. Well, I guess Gmail is like that these days, right?
Exactly,
So,
yeah.
right,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
most everything is kind of moving towards that kind of instant messaging type of feel and look
Yes.
now.
Link notifications left parent 11 right parent
Okay.
mode plus.
I have 11 notifications. What's a notification? If I post something and Lynette likes it, I get a notification that says Lynette has liked your post.
Yes.
If she comments on it, I get a notification that says Lynette has commented on your post. Here's where I can access that information. So notifications are responses to things that I have put up on Facebook. Make sense?
Link chat alt plus 5.
Chatting is very similar to messaging. It's direct, it's one-on-one, it's private, but it's usually done in real time, so it's more like instant messaging than it is inboxing, okay?
Main region. Update status.
Okay, so and here's my status.
Link share photo.
I can share a photo like I did with my sister, and the photo of my sister and myself.
Link Gus Chalpias.
It's me.
Lang.
And here's my edit field, so I'm going to type in a message.
To who?
This is generally, this is my status, so when this posts,
Oh, okay.
it gets made available to anybody who's my friend.
Got it.
Yeah, so, and it'll go into what's called their news feed. So what should I type? Let's see.
H O E I F space E O E S A E E F O Y F A S P E E S A I O N space CCV E. Hogan people are enjoying this presentation at CCVIP. Post button.
And I'm going to post it.
Enter. Update status. Notification required.
Okay, and then I should get a message.
Lang. Heading level 1 link graphics. Link no link chat alt main read your status has been updated.
Great, so my status has been updated, and now people are going to be able to see it and respond to it or not. But under my status,
To update your link activate your phone. Update status. Link share photo.
I can also share photos.
Link Gus Chal.
I mean,
posting to colon.
I can designate who I'm going to post to. So right now,
Link friends.
that posted to my friends. So anybody who's on my friends list got that post or was able to view that post. So it doesn't necessarily like come to people. You don't, unless you choose to, you can actually choose with specific people to receive text messages on your phone. Like Gus just updated his status. Although if you have 500 people in on your friends list, I don't know if you would want to do that. But there might be some people that are more important to you than others, and you may want to do that. So some people do.
Lang. Link more options. New colon select more. Link Cheryl Idol, Nikki Carantis, and 10 other people like your status colon quote I like step.
Right? So
That was fast.
that's a status from before. That's not the same.
Not
That's
this
not
one.
the one I just posted. Yeah, this was something I posted this morning about 6 things people don't know about me. And I'll divulge one of the things that I posted was that whenever I make a Facebook post, I obsessively check back on Facebook to see how many people have liked it.